last night we saw the Terrifier 2, sequel to the Terrifier, which is the sequel to some short from an anthology movie from like 15 years ago. Connor, what is the plot of the Terrifier 2, or Terrifier 2, whichever one it's called? I don't remember if those on the two. Hi, Jack-o'-lantern, the Halloween kitty.
She's attacking. Terrifier 2 stars, I can't remember the girl's name, but she's a girl, her mother, her two friends, and her brother, who are haunted by visions of the clown killer. But he's also real and alive, and he has a little girl with him.
Who's a ghost?
He's a ghost that doesn't exist except in the mind of the Terrifier and the minds of the Terrifier's people he's terrifying.
And also, in one scene, he has Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger dream powers.
He does have Freddy Krueger dream powers at one point.
But then he doesn't later.
That he doesn't later have when he's real. But he kills people, and the girl becomes a sexy cosplay for her dad's kinky fetish character. And her mom's like, that outfit's too sexy, but your dad would love it. It's like, yeah. And he was like buying her stuff, trying to groom his daughter into wearing this kinky outfit that I think the director, Damien Leone, thought was kinky. And he like wants to fuck the main character very obviously. It's the Dave Filoni Ahsoka Tano effect. It's really weird. And 2 hours and 15 minutes later, it's done. So Aiden, what did you think of Terrifier 2?
Oh Christ, this is a long ass movie. It's a long movie. It's long, dude. It's long. This movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes.
About 45 minutes too long for a slasher movie, I would say.
Yeah, maybe even more than 45 minutes for this premise. The movie, you know, the description makes it sound like there's a lot more going on. What it is an hour of people shitting around, and there's one dream sequence where she gets attacked by the clown in the dream. And then the clown does not have that power anymore, but he has the ghost girl. And the ghost girl, no one can see her unless
the hobo
he wants them to see.
I don't know, because the little boy could see the girl, but the hobo he kills originally couldn't see the little girl. So it's not everybody he terrifies that can see the little girl.
It's only if
the rules of the little girl
or something. I don't know.
The rules of the little girl are vague and confusing.
The dream powers are vague and confusing. Everything's a little vague and confusing. Honestly, you know, there's an hour of shitting about and establishing like lore for the new characters and lore for the clown man, and then you eventually get to the kills, and yeah, they're good. If anything, they're probably too much. You know, I'm a fan of the over-the-top shit and stuff, but like some of the kill scenes, like he kills one of the girl's friends, I don't remember her name. The scene is like 15 goddamn minutes long. At a certain point, it just like wears off, and it's like, okay, he's been stabbing her for like 15 minutes, and then he leaves. And then you're like, oh, it's finally over, thank God, we can move on. And then he comes back and starts pouring salt and bleach on her and cutting her up even more. It's like, holy Christ, this has been going on for 15 minutes. This movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes long. We need to trim the fat. Fat has to be trimmed. It's excessive even by my standards, and you know, I love the excess. And beyond that, everything around the kills just needs to be trimmed. It's not that interesting. The girl becoming the angel battle warrior sexy thing is not that interesting. Her little brother finding a dead possum, not that interesting. You just got someone needed to go in, edit this movie down to a brisk 85 minutes, trim all of the fat, and just get on with it. And I'm not just talking about trimming the fat in the character scenes. I'm talking trimming the fat in some of the kills too. And
if I would be
just
able to
getting
actually
the face
post
on.
it, I would trim it. I would personally edit this movie down to 75 minutes, and it would be a much better movie.
Yeah, and like
The amount of kills and the amount of like horror scenes facilitates 75 minutes, because you could see where the budget ran out. You know, you could see the budget ran out, but you give this guy free reign because he's making this movie independently with independent distributors
and Indiegogo
money. And he can make it as long as he wants, and he made it way too long. The first movie is apparently 86 minutes. It probably works much better.
Everything that was on the script is in the movie. Everything that's shot is in the movie. Someone needed to just say, this is too much, you need to cut it down. Gore is a bit excessive to my taste. I think it goes on a little too long, that it gets tiring, which is something I never thought I'd say. But the gore is pretty well done when it's there. If all you want is some gore and people getting chopped to bits. Yeah, I'm not really endeared to the clown man or the little girl or the main characters. I have no idea what they're going to do for the 2 planned sequels, but yeah, it's too much, dog. It's too much on a lot of levels. Connor, what you think of Terrifier 2?
Terrifier 2 is a fucking slog. I don't have a lot to add from what you said, because I agree with most of your points. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, really. It doesn't matter what slasher movie it is. It's hard to make a slasher movie facilitate a 2 hour and 15 minute runtime. And if you wanted to make some sort of like epic slasher movie, there has to be more to the concept. If you want to make a movie a length of an epic, because I think like one of the descriptions I read, I don't know if it was on IMDb or Letterboxd, was the slasher epic. So you want to make this slasher epic with this epic main character that rises and gains weird powers and can go in and out of dreams. You gotta facilitate it being an epic. You can't blow your entire fucking budget on kills. and you can triple the amount of kills if you just downplayed the gore a little bit. But you're making these kills each cost like hundreds of thousands of dollars. You could have made a decent kill that costed half as much, but instead you're going for these like huge, dramatic, overplayed kills.
Yeah, you're running every kill into the ground.
And I'm fine if you want to do these huge, extravagant, slasher, record-breaking kills that are super long, super gory, grossing people out. Awesome. Make the movie 90 minutes or less.
Yeah.
This movie should have... What we have in the script, and there's so much filler in this script, and there's so many scenes that could easily be chopped out. But what we have in this script facilitates 75 to 90 minutes. I watched a movie called Happy Birthday to Me. It's a slasher movie that came out pre-Friday the 13th era, where like you got Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, which are these like crazy slasher pillars. It's when everyone was ripping off Halloween. Think, you know, you got like Slumber Party Massacre, Black Christmas, that type of era. And that movie was 100 minutes and it slogged on. And add 30 minutes, subtract 4 kills, and that's what this movie is. It just doesn't work as a slasher movie. It has issues. It's too long. That's the main issue. And also, the acting comes straight out of fucking porn. Like, the acting is terrible. Not just the child actors, but every actor's fucking terrible.
Yeah, the lead is the best one, and she's still not that good.
The lead is
The little brother
okay.
is awful.
The lead I could see being it, could pull off acting. The other ones can't. The mom can't. The brother can't.
Everyone is terrible.
Everybody's
The
terrible.
lead is the least terrible, is all I was saying.
And there is like a level of like campy endearment to that could have been there, but they failed. And yeah, I thought it sucked.
You know what this feels
Even
like?
the end credit scene was really bloated and long. Come to think of it,
Yeah, with the
it's all
wrestler
just,
cameo.
it's all just so bloated
Weird.
and long, man. It's all just so bloated and long.
This whole movie feels like a fucking... If you trimmed this movie down to like 6 minutes, it feels like an Adult Swim short. Where it's boring, bad acting, and then a girl gets massacred by an evil clown for 10 straight minutes, and that's the joke.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to watch Terrifier 1 because it's 86 minutes. I assume it'll be a lot better for that reason.
Yeah.
And frankly, it feels like even the director puts his name in the title like he's a visionary director.
The visionary
And I feel
director
like
of 3 movies about the same clown.
when you think like you're a visionary director, auteur, and you have full creative control over the movie, yeah, it's gonna turn out like this, unfortunately. You need other eyes on it, you need other people. You can't be the sole writer, producer, director,
Editor.
editor.
Especially.
Editor is
Hires
the main
someone, that's
thing.
fucking
It also looks like it's shot on a DSLR,
Yeah.
which it's like maybe take some of that kill money and
And then,
invest
like,
in something
badly
cinematic.
Applied bad filters over
I
it.
don't blame people for using DSLR for like their first couple movies. And look, we're not one to judge. We're running a Canon G20 from 2013. But what I am saying is, maybe once you have that $1 million+ budget or close to $1 million budget or whatever this had, maybe it's time to say, look, let's rent a cinematic camera so it doesn't look like a DSLR and it doesn't look like I learned how to shoot movies through
So that it
YouTube
doesn't-
tutorials.
So that it doesn't look like a horror compilation short like this clown character started as.
Yeah. It looks very direct to video. Maybe part of the problem is we watched it in theaters and the movie's about an hour too long. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's me, not the movie.
I mean, I guess if you're like watching it at home, you could like do the dishes when
You know what it
people
kinda
get
reminds me of?
murdered.
Beguiled Company. The movie that's made it all happen. It does.
A bit.
It's
yeah.
bloated. The director wrote, starred, and edited in it. I guess the director didn't star in this, but
He had the sense not to do that,
but he didn't. It's like
when you make something, when you write
you
and
think you're a
direct and
visionary,
edit something yourself,
and you think
do
you're
not
a
feel
visionary.
incentivized to cut anything that you've written, even if the movie's pacing suffers for it.
Yeah. In that way, it felt a lot like Beguiled Company, where it's like I just want to leave after like 75 minutes.
You know,
So Aiden, would you recommend Terrifier 2?
No. The gore effects are good, so like in like a year when there's some compilation on YouTube of the Terrifier 2 kills, I guess watch those if you're into that, because the gore is good, if bloated and long still. Holy Christ, everything around that is super bad and definitely not worth the 2.5 hour investment. Not at all. Connor, would you recommend Terrifier 2?
No. It sucked.